Johnny Silverhand, former lead singer of Samurai, and his girlfriend Alt Cunningham will be integral to the plot of Cyberpunk 2077. Silverhand was known in Night City as a famous and idealistic singer with his signature silver chrome cyber arm. His weapon of choice was the Malorian Arms 3516. Silverhand's discography includes notable hits such as Chippin In and Never Fade Away from his Cool Metal Fire album. It's been suggested that Johnny Silverhand was possibly born as Robert John Linder sometime in the 1980s, the son of an Apple computer programmer and studio guitarist working the San Francisco club scene. Linder's family is rumored to have been killed during the collapse. Records appear to indicate Robert joined the US Army, training as a soldier in the Special Operations branch. Silverhand would reveal in his Sins of Your Brother album that he was a former US Marine who had deserted during the Second Nicaraguan conflict. This album triggered a wave of sentiment that resulted in the National Amnesty Program for AWOL Central American conflict veterans. As Silverhand himself remarked, if you can face the truth, you can face anything. So, I faced the truth. Following an unsuccessful assassination attempt by Biotechnica, Silverhand would release his Clone Wars album that dealt with the idea of bioengineered humans being created as slaves for military and industrial purposes. Shortly afterwards, his girlfriend, Alt, would be kidnapped by Arasaka. Alt was a super wizard class netrunner and the inventor of Soulkiller. Soulkiller uses an advanced matrix recorder to copy the entire personality of an intruder, storing it in a huge database. It then wipes the original personality away, leaving a mindless husk that eventually dies. Arasaka wanted to acquire Soulkiller and so forced Alt to develop a version for them. On April 13th, 2013, Silverhand, unable to penetrate the security of Arasaka Towers by himself, created a diversion by announcing a samurai concert just outside the buildings. 6,000 ardent fans turned up to the party. As the Arasaka guards began to lose their nerve, one of them accidentally fired into the crowd. Furious pandemonium ensued as the fans retaliated. As the fighting begins, the Soulkiller is used on Alt. She floats naked in a sea of stars. Around her swirls the matrix of Soulkiller, towering into measureless space. Alt reaches out with her enhanced mentality, shaping and forming. A brief flare of thought, and Soulkiller sucks away the minds of her three guardian techs, letting their bodies drop. From the mind of the head techie, she pulls out the access codes to the mainframe's inner levels. She strips the memory of data, downloading it into her hidden files throughout the net. $20 million vanishes from accounting to reappear in a sub-account under her name. Pulling Toshiro's signature from his checking account file, she signs his name with a flourish. Using the access codes, she activates the room monitor. She can see the three techs slumped senseless in their chairs, her own unconscious body limply sprawled across the central console. Akira moves towards it, and Alt triggers the room lasers and cuts him in two. His body hits the floor with a steaming thud. Toshiro's eyes widen in shock, then narrow as he realizes what has happened. "Congratulations, Miss Cunningham," he says with a mock formality. "It seems you have found a way to escape your demise. You move and your laser meets," she retorts. She tracks the defense system onto him, locking it to fire at the slightest position change. Then she turns back into the Soulkiller construct, wrapping its power around her, gathering herself to transfer back into her body. The room staggers, lurches, as 5 pounds of plastic explosive slams through the ceiling of the elevator, creating an instant fireball. The lasers go wild, spilling a maze of ruby light in every direction. Toshiro throws himself flat, toppling the cyberdeck and breaking Alt's connections. She flails wildly with the construct too little, too late. 3 figures burst into the room, smart guns laying down a pattern of fire through the maelstrom. Johnny spots Alt's still form slumped over a contour couch. He takes her in his arms, trembling. Across the room, Rogue looks away. "Well, well, well," says Thompson, striding across the wrecked room towards the corporate head. "What do we have here? Looks like kidnapping and maybe murder. They're going to put you away for a long, long time, Toshiro-chan." His green cyber-optic winks bright as he transmits live and direct to his newsnet. His head swivels right to left with practiced ease as he sub-vocalizes the opening to his story. The story he will use to break Arasaka in Night City. Johnny stares a long time at Alt's almost lifeless body. There is a feeble pulse, but Alt is gone, lost in the machine, trapped behind crystal, lost forever. Gone. He stands away from the couch. Cut transmission, he says to Thompson. The green cyber optic goes dark. Silverhand's own eyes are featureless white marbles. The hand convulses in fury by his side, locking onto the H&K in its low-slung hip rig. The metal fingers lock to the butt, Scrabble clicking along the pokerized grip. He just doesn't care anymore. He's dead inside. To hell with it. Silverhand raises the big black gun. A red pinpoint centers on Toshiro's forehead. Bang, says Johnny. The hand convulses. Bang, says the gun. Silverhand turns to gather up her still warm body in his arms. Behind the wall of monitors, a disembodied Alt screams to him, but he can't hear her as he walks away. Shortly afterwards, Johnny Silverhand would go into hiding amongst the nomad groups for almost 2 years with his friend Santiago. During the Fourth Corporate War, August 20th, 2023, Silverhand would return to fight Arasaka once more. Militech gathered together a dream team consisting of the best operatives Night City had to offer, including Johnny Silverhand and Morgan Blackhand. Their mission to take out Arasaka's arcology with a nuclear demolition charge. Silverhand would lead Team Alpha, consisting of Rogue, Shaitan Thompson and Spider Murphy. During the mission, the team found out that Alt Cunningham was captured by Arasaka and was being held as a digital ghost, aka Engram, inside the Arasaka mainframe. Going somewhere? Adam's voice cuts through the silent offices like a bullet crack. Someone screams cover as machine gun and shotgun fire from Arasaka troopers spray through the narrow hallway, cutting 3 of the Team Spec Op troops in half. Spider scrambles behind a heavy pillar as Rogue and Johnny take a position behind office furniture, wholly inadequate to the job of stopping heavy fire. Spider watches Shaitan simply fade into near invisibility against a wall. Rogue pops off a burst from her rifle, then fires 2 grenades. Arasaka seem to want the lab intact and are not using heavy weapons. Team Alpha was under no such constraint. Shaitan fires off blast after blast from a portable cannon he calls a shotgun, but is tagged by no to a gun burst that sends him rolling. People on both sides spasm and fall as high velocity death fills the entire floor of the building. Somewhere, Spider hears Thompson scream in pain. Things are bad. There are too damn many of them. Plus that Borg, time to decide. Bullets chip at her cover while she hurriedly links her cyberdeck into the heavy suitcase memory stash carrying Alt. No time to double check, no time to confirm links or space available. She launches herself into the net, dragging the linked icons that represent Alt's personality, memories, and whatever else it is that makes her different from an expert system. All Alt, she thinks to herself, is a hope and a prayer. Here goes nothing. With a virtual toss, Spider fires the various portions of Alt out into the net, tagging them with a marker so that she can maybe retrieve them someday, and if she gets lucky enough, re-res them back into her second best, now first best friend. On the other side of the room, Johnny crouches under a desk, fighting with his past between bursts of gunfire. I left Alt last time, just abandoned her. Not again, not ever. Better to burn out, says the hand. Yeah, he says to himself, and he knows what he must do. Spider spends just a few seconds in the net, an eternity never enough time. She comes back to find her cover still getting powdered, although the cacophony has diminished. She sees Rogue discarding her empty rifle and pulling 2 heavy pistols. Spider draws her own flechette pistol, its heavy weight somehow comforting in her hand. Suddenly, Johnny's voice rings out, not in song, but in challenge. Hey, Steelhead, let's rock and roll! Johnny standing in plain sight, a Militech SMG in one hand, the Malorian in the other. He begins pumping rounds into Adam. Adam turns, but hesitates, astonished at the audacity of the rocker, challenging him with weapons that won't even dent his armor. An arm comes up. The auto shotgun in it opens fire. APDS rounds cut the young rocker in half. Johnny spins and falls to the ground, a surprised look on his face, the Malorian still smoking in his fist. It only takes a second. But a second is all Shaitan needs. He suddenly seems to emerge from the wall behind Adam and grapples with him. Seeing an opening, Rogue and Spider react as one. Rogue stands, bullets streaming from her pistols like tears, raking down Arasaka troopers. Spider sits up and fires, picking off targets and putting them down, one shot after another. It's all just a V-sim, she says, just a game. Adam lurches around, but Shaitan's grip is that of desperation. Spider sees that Shaitan's right arm hangs shattered and limp at his side, blasted by a grenade. It's only a matter of seconds before Adam gets free and takes them all down. "Get out of here! I've got him!" Shaitan's hollow voice bellows over two women. The rest of the arrows are down, but so are the Spec Ops. Rogue, Spider, and crippled Thompson are alone with two battling Borgs. They can hear more soldiers coming. They know they have no choice. As Spider moves to the Rocker's mangled form, Rogue grabs her arm, her hard eyes boring into Spider's own. "Johnny's dead, Spider. Help me get Thompson out of here." Rogue's eyes speak of a certainty and incredible pain, all slammed away behind an iron will to survive. "Keep the meat baggage light," Rash used to say. Spider reaches for the data suitcase but sees that it, too, has been savaged by gunfire. It's wrecked. She quietly wishes Alt good luck. But Johnny will be avenged. Spider thinks to herself as she and Rogue drag the wounded Thompson to the elevator. Moments later, the nuke would detonate, destroying Arasaka Towers. Silverhand's body was never recovered. More than 10 years later, rumors began to circulate that his body had been found in cold storage in a body bank in the wreckage of Old Night City. These rumors were never substantiated. By 2025, it became known that Alt Cunningham had survived in the net, as she established the Ghost World, aka Shangri-La, in the ruins of bio-destroyed Hong Kong. Somehow in 2077, an engram of Johnny Silverhand is currently coexisting with V as a result of a highly experimental biochip V has installed. Silverhand wants V to find Alt Cunningham. For what purpose currently remains elusive.